Good morning, dear pupils, students, and all the viewers of today's lesson. My name is Marina Lebedeva. I am an English teacher at Academic Lyceum International House, Toshkent, under Toshkent Institute of Irrigation and Agricultural Mechanization Engineers. So, my topic of today's lesson, or lecture, maybe it's better to say, is conditional sentences. So, unfortunately, we don't have a chance to communicate and I cannot ask you some questions, but I hope that this lesson will be really useful and beneficial for you, because I know that soon you will have your final control works, final state exams, your examinations. That's why I hope that you will take a lot of benefits from this lesson. So, let's start. Well, let's start from the definition. What is a conditional sentence? Conditional sentence has some scientific definition. It is sentences expressing factual implications or hypothetical situations and their consequences. But before you will start learning by heart such kind of scientific definitions, I recommend you to understand what is a sentence for the first of all. Okay, sentence consists of one or more words. Sentence we have for giving some ideas, some information to other people. Well, what is the difference between simple sentence and a conditional sentence? So, conditional sentences tell us about the development of some event, some conditions that we have. Actually, we may differentiate conditional sentences for different tenses. We may bring it to present time, to past time, to the future time. Well, and let me tell about these in a more detailed way. So, as you can see, conditional sentence is shared into two parts. So, the first clause and the second clause. I'd like to pay your attention to the word if. I'm sorry. So, if is a conditional word. Conditional word we may leave. So, there is no necessity to put it everywhere if you don't want. You may just use if it's necessary for you. Also, we have other conditional words too. So, for example, if it rains tomorrow, we will not come. Here you may see two parts of the sentence, and each of these parts brings us some particular meaning in the sentence. So, here, look please, I like to tell you some important moment. Look, the first part, you should name conditional part. Another part is resultative part. You may change the location of these parts and nothing will change in the meaning of your sentence. And it will look like this: resultative part at the first part and conditional part at the second place. So, it is not a mistake. You just should follow one rule. Rules of each type of the conditional sentence. So, now let me say about types of conditional sentences. Zero type, the first type, the second type, the third type, mixed conditionals, and by the way, mixed conditionals, they have two types in their meaning, well, and inverted conditionals. Each of these types we will discuss in a more detailed way right now. So let's start. Zero conditional. Zero conditionals, in my opinion and in opinion of the most teachers, is the most simple type of conditional sentences. Why? Because we should talk only about some things which are really true always. Well, scientific facts. We shouldn't prove anything because it was proved by some scientists before. Well, laws of nature. So we have some natural facts that also couldn't be changed in any way, for example, rising of the sun or maybe sunset. Then, generally accepted statements. Well, if we'll talk about this point, I'd like to say we have some experience that people got for ages, for centuries. That's why we should believe to these statements in any way. The next one is obvious statements. It means that there is no any other continuation in this situation, only one way of the solution. Next one is advices. Advices is some kind of recommendations that we may follow. It is given to us in order to make our life better, in order to simplify our life. And the last one is actions that always occur under such conditions. So it is similar with obvious statements. They have approximately the same meaning. So it's just the main points that I wanted to say, to describe. So, and now let's go to the structure of our zero type. So, please look at the structure. You may see again with a red color conditional word if. This word helps us to understand that it is some condition. Then, in our conditional part, we have present simple tense. And in our resultative part, we also have present simple. So that's why I told you that it is one of the simplest types of conditional sentence. So present simple, it is our verb in a be infinitive, and if we will use, for example, pronouns he, she, it, of course it is necessary to add ending s or es. It depends on the noun, on the verb. Well, usage. It is some definition. When you will be asked by your teachers, when you would like to give some brief and meaningful definition of each type, you should say just one sentence. You shouldn't describe all the cases when you are not asked. You may say that zero type of conditional sentences is used to talk about things that are always true, like a scientific fact. And here I gave you some examples of the zero type of conditional sentence. I highlighted with a red color some words, so you may understand which of them are written are fixed in present simple tense. Look, if you freeze water, it turns into ice. Well, freeze in present simple, turns it also in present simple. We added ending as because we have pronoun it before the verb. Or, and if you heat water at 100 degrees, it boils. So heat and boils are verbs which we fixed also in present simple tense. I recommend you to learn by heart this definition because it will be great if you will say such kind of short, and I will again repeat, meaningful definition when you are asked. So, and now let's go to the next type. So, the next type is the first conditional sentence. I also fixed some cases of the usage of this type. So, the first one is predictions. Predictions, what is it? Predictions, it is some information. It is some ideas that we may give according to some research that was made before. Or superstitions. Superstitions, it is some like beliefs that people can make on the basis of supernatural power. So some people believe, some people do not believe. Future plans, it is our ideas that we're going to do in the future, warnings and treats and offers and suggestions. Well, all these facts in comparing with zero type of conditional sentence are possible, but it depends on us. For example, in zero type of conditional sentences, we shouldn't prove it will happen in any way absolutely. But here in the first type of conditional sentences, we have choice. If we want to do something, it is possible. We don't have any problems. It depends only on us. So that's why we used to say that the first type of conditional sentence is related to present and future tense. Well, now please look at the structure of the first type. So again, conditional word. If, for your example, it is the most spread word, as you know, I hope. So, and simple present constructor. Then simple future. Simple future tense we may create with the help of shall and will. But pay attention that here I fixed only will and won't, so will not for negative form. Nowadays, shall in conditional sentences is not used. It is like outdated verb, auxiliary verb. That's why nowadays it's only actual for all the nouns, for all the pronouns, usage of will and won't. Well, and verb plus bare infinitive. Bare infinitive, it is infinitive without participle to. Usage. Usage is sounds like to talk about possibilities in the present or in the future, as I told you before. So there is no any borders or problems, and we may do anything we want. Examples. So examples, also I fixed several examples here. If it rains, I will stay at home. Rains we fixed in simple present tense, and will stay, another verb, which I fixed future simple. Well, if I wake up late, I will miss the bus. So I would like to pay your attention to the sentence, and let's bring some sentences to our cases. If you will think about this sentence, if I wake up late, I will miss the bus, and let's come back to our previous slide, you will see that these predictions. We predict that if something is, for example, if I wake up late, I will miss the bus. So, or pay attention to the next example, and if it's sunny, we'll go to the park. So it is our plans for the future. So I hope that it is really understandable difference between zero and the first type of conditional sentence. The next type is the second type of conditional sentences. It sounds like definition that the second conditional is used in the situation or actions in the present or future which are not likely to happen. What does it mean, not likely? So it means that we have 50-50 possibility. It may happen or may not. Well, imaginary situations, impossible situations, or hypothetical situations. So when you would like to say about something also about present or future, like in the first type, you may use the second type of conditional sentences. But pay attention that it may happen only for 50%. And some scientists prove that it's not only 50-50, maybe in some cases it's even 40-60. Well, the structure of our second type of conditionals. If plus past simple in our conditional part and present conditional. Present conditional, it is not tense, it is construction. It is some structure that we should follow. So I don't think that you have problems with past simple. Past simple is a verb with ed ending or the second column of irregular verbs. And present conditional. Present conditional, it is would or would not. Instead of will and won't, we use would not. And verb. Verb again in a form of bare infinitive without participle to. let's look at our usage. So the usage is like imaginary situations in the present or future. Imaginary. We imagine something. We plan something if we could do it, of course. So, for example, if I won $1 million, I would buy a new car. If I won, I could, but it's my dream, it's my imaginary thoughts, which are not true now, and I just dream about this. Or, if I were you, I would quit smoking. So, you can imagine some situation. You cannot be at the place of other person. It's impossible. That's why you may just predict something. You may just imagine, dream. So that's why we use the second type of conditional sentences for such kind of situations, for imaginary situations, for hypothetical or 50-50 situations. Well, if I were the president, I would lower taxes. You are not, for example, president, and you may imagine about your actions. Or they would stay longer if they had more time, but they have no imaginary situation again. So I hope that everything is clear and understandable with the second type. So again, 0, it's our proved facts. Well, first type, it is our possible situations. The second type of conditional sentence, it is our 50-50 possible situation or imaginary situation. Well, now let's go to the third type of conditional sentence. So, it refers to an impossible condition in the past and its probable result in the past. In other words, you may say about regrets. When we use the third type of conditional sentence, we talk about past. We talk about something that we cannot change. Because we cannot change something in the past, it's obvious for everyone. Well, now please look at the structure. It is if plus past perfect, it is past perfect tense. We use had auxiliary verb and verb with ending ed or third column of irregular verb. And in the resultative part we use perfect conditional construction. Pay attention, it is not tense. So the construction is like would or would not for negative, plus have, always have, not has, because before have we have would. And past participle. Past participle is a verb with ending ed or third column of irregular verb. So it's better to say past participle than such kind of long definition. Well, usage is imaginary situations in the past, as I said, or our regrets that we cannot change, that we cannot do because it was in the past. Well, examples. If I had got a gold medal, I would have been happy. Well, in the past, if you've got that medal, you could be happy now. But you are not, that's why I would have been happy. Or, if I had met Susan last week, I would have given her the book. But maybe you didn't see her last week. That's why it's impossible. All these examples about past tense that we cannot change. Something didn't happen. Well, so, and now, finally, we came to the most interesting situation, mixed conditional type. So, as I told you before, we have two types inside this topic, mixed conditionals. In mixed conditionals, it is possible for the two parts of a sentence to refer to different types. How? Look, when we talked about zero type, it was about present. When we talked about first type, it was about present. And future, when we talk about second, it was present and future hypothetical. third type was about past, but here, look, we may combine, for example, present and past, or past and present. So, two types, present result of a past condition or past result of present and continuing. Well, look at my next slide, where I showed you present result of a past condition. So, construction if plus past perfect and present conditional. Look, this part, conditional part, I took from third type. This part I took from the third one. Well, from the second one, I'm sorry. Well, usage, present result of a past condition. Look at some examples. If I had listened to your advice, I wouldn't be in the mess. If in the past you did something, now you maybe could be in another situation. But it didn't happen, that's why we have some results now. Well, or if he had checked the map, he wouldn't be lost. So, if in the past someone checked his map, now he could find easily his way, but he is lost. Well, or if I had gone to university, I would be a doctor now. In the past, if you studied, you could be a doctor now. But it didn't happen. So remember, we combine two types. In conditional part, it is from the third type, and in the resultative part, it is from the second type part. And now please look at another type of mixed conditionals, where we have past result of a present or continuing. The structure is another, again, if conditional word plus past simple. If before, in previous type, I told you that in conditional part you had your condition from the second type. So now, from the third, now you have from the second. And in your resultative part, if before you had the second result, now you have the third type result. Well, the usage is past result of a present or continuing condition. Remember this definition, and when you will be asked by your teacher, you will answer these easily, briefly, and it will be meaningful. Examples. If I were a good cook, I would have invited them to dinner. So, again, look, where, verb where, it is in the second form, and would have invited. Construction of perfect conditional, that we use it also in the third type of conditional sentences. Or, if you weren't such a poor dancer, you would have got a job in the chorus line in that musical. So again, result we have in the past and condition in the present. Well, that's all about mixed types, and now I would like to pay a couple of words to conditional words. As I told you before, we have not only if, we have even or, even if, unless, as soon as, when, provided that or providing that, and in case. If you will see these words at the beginning of the sentence, if you will see that constructions that I showed you before in the 0, first, the second, and third types, you may freely say that it's a conditional sentence, because these words are also conditional words. You may fix them somewhere. It will be really useful for you when you will solve some tasks, tests. Well, and inverted conditional. So, in our formal language, it is better to use inverted type of conditional sentences. Why? You may say the same words, but they will sound in more formal style. So you may differentiate them: formal language style and another order. So another order, it means that you will replace some words in the sentence and you will get the same meaning, but it will be more formal. For example, if you would like to impress your teacher or you would like to impress someone at your interview, you may say something in conditionals but in inverted conditionals. It sounds more official and beautiful. Well, inverted conditionals. Look, how can we create it? If may be omitted, and instead of if we may add should, or where or had may be replaced from its place before subject. Now I will show you, we'll discuss some examples. If I were happy, if we will replace where, and if we will omit if, we will get were I happy. It will be the same meaning, but it sounds more official. Or if I had known, had I known, sounds again more official. Or another example with should. We add this word. We don't have because in the sentence. Could you look at example? If he remembers his own name, so we omitted if and added should instead of that. He was replaced after should. Well, now it's also two types: full sentence. So if you need more information, call our office. Here I may explain that instead of verb need, we used another verb, require. It's more official, it sounds more official. More, we changed for any further, and we added some words, please, and instead of if, we added should, as I told you before. One more example for inverted conditional. It is again, if was omitted and auxiliary had, we replaced before subject. So remember, if you would like to say something in more official style, you may use inverted conditionals. You may use inverted form in any type of conditional sentences. So, before I will finish my lesson, I would like to say some students give me such kind of question: what kind of conditional sentences should we use? It depends only on you. It depends only on situation. For example, if you would like to say about your future plans, you will choose first type of conditionals. If you would like to say about situations that may happen or maybe not, you should choose the second type. Or if you would like to say something about past, it will be third type. So please remember this information. Thank you for your attention. I hope that the lesson was really interesting for you, that it was really beneficial. So goodbye, see you.